So as requested by T. Butler, I just read Bloodlines by Wraight and it was pretty good. The novel follows Augusto Zidorov, who is basically the 40k equivalent of a detective working in the hive city of Gargantua. He is initially tasked with solving a missing persons case, but soon stumbles upon a huge cell draining operation. During the cell draining process, people kidnap teenagers and via a slow and extremely painful process transform them into rejuvenation potions that the rich then use to stay young. Zidorov then spends the rest of the novel trying to solve the case and bring down whoever is behind the cell draining process, while at the same time he has to struggle to keep his own family life in order. Bloodlines is categorized under the Warhammer crime banner, and that's exactly what Wraight desired to go with here. A typical detective story in Warhammer 40k. There's a detective who is out of his league, a corrupt police force, hidden cabals and schemes, and basically all the cliches that you can think of. But there's also subplots involving the Imperial Fight, the Great Rift and the Ecclesiarchy. Wraight does a good job of giving the book a more 40k-like feel by adding in various little details like people swearing with throne, or people talking about las guns, autoguns and shredders. Altogether, I think he managed to combine the best of both worlds into an entertaining end product. The tone of the book also contributes a lot to this 40k feel. The life of the normal citizens in Gargantua is pretty dystopian, and the bleak, joyless existence gave me some real 1984 vibes at the start. For an example, normal people don't really eat meals, they instead eat carb bars. I don't know exactly what that is, but it doesn't sound very tasty now, does it? People also don't drink coffee, no, they drink warm caffeine. Oh, and the city is also in the middle of a huge storm during the book, so there's more rain than you'd be comfortable with. It should also be noted that this is a great novel for people to get an idea of what it's like for normal people on a typical Imperial planet. Especially the level of distance between the big ongoing events in 40k and the struggles of the average citizen were quite interesting to read about. For an example, while Guilliman might be chatting with the Elder and the Necrons, many people in Gargantua don't even believe that Xenos exist. The fact that the entire Imperium has been split in two is another thing that has gone completely unnoticed on the planet. Great stuff for anyone who's interested in the more normal people of the 40k setting. Another thing which I liked was the plot twists. The novel may read like a typical cliché crime novel, but Wraight made sure to add just enough interesting twists and turns in the plot to keep the reader in the dark and on the edge of their seat, so to speak. The subplots also frequently took some unexpected turns, which too prevented the novel from becoming predictable. Now for those familiar with the lore of 40k, you'll be able to pick up on all the hints scattered throughout the book that point to an even larger mystery. I won't spoil what it is, but I'm not sure whether I'm a huge fan of its inclusion actually. On one hand, it's a nice mystery that anyone well versed in Warhammer lore will be able to solve, but on the other hand it also feels a little like a cheap cliffhanger that's there just so you buy the next book. And I'm not really a fan of these type of cheap Netflix quality cliffhangers. Because of this, it doesn't really feel like you've reached the end after reading the book, rather it feels like the story has only just begun. Then finally, I'd like to say the introduction was pretty genius. Not only did it set the tone for the book perfectly, it also grabbed my attention very well, and the feeling that you get once everything finally starts to make sense was pretty satisfying. All in all, I'm giving this book 4 to 5 car bars. It's a solid detective noir story mixed with plenty of 40k elements. There's plenty of interesting twists and subplots, and it's also one of the rare times that we get a glimpse at the normal lives of people in the Imperium. If any of those seem interesting to you, then I definitely recommend this book.
If you like this video, please consider subscribing and click ringing the bell to appease the Great Horned Rat. For more lore content, please check my main channel and leave any book recommendations in the comments down below. I gotta get back to reading the next book.